That was beautiful. Before we go on to another music, I would just like to welcome Sophia Zeng. She's our new advisor, our new director, World Poetry Canada. And thank you. And she'll be reading next month. And Carolina, who hasn't been with us for a long time, but she's here, and I'd like to thank her. And Anita Gillis-Neveres, World Poetry Director, and many other things, secretary and co-host, and a Renaissance woman, dancer, and everything else. So, and also Sheila Oster, our wonderful Queen of Limericks, who started her first book of limericks at 80, and is inspiration for us all. And one more, I think, everybody's terrific, but one more, Ambonja, and she's a Korean poet, has been with World Poetry. She's an advisor, and she fills in for me at times when I'm not able to go to events. And Jacqueline Muir is back. So we have a welcome back card for her, and we also bought her some weights because she wants to start exercising her arms. So I want to introduce James again with the musical portion, because I don't have bios on anybody. So please come up, James, and do your thing.
Thank you. So following my friend Chris and Father Kelly. Okay, I don't think we even need a microphone stand because we're going to project. That's the hope.
Hello all. We are going to be singing something this evening from the Eastern Orthodox tradition. The Eastern Orthodox Church comprises about 500 million people around the world, in countries like Greece and Russia and all through Palestine, Middle East, Syria, and many other, all the countries around the world. It's an ancient Christian tradition, and the music that we sing very often has very ancient roots in its style and presentation. We do not use instruments in the Orthodox Church. It's the voice and the voice only. So picture for a moment in the 5th century, and in a newly forming place called Byzantium, Constantinople. Constantine has taken this tiny little fishing village, and he has decided that it's going to be the new capital of the new emerging Rome. About 100 or so years later, in a beautiful, new, magnificent church, which incidentally still stands today, Hagia Sophia, there was a young monk who, and singer, he was a cantor in this church, which was the emperor's church, who was a terrible singer. As a matter of fact, I have vivid memories of myself when I was at seminary and going into the choir and being told within a few days, why don't you try going into the altar? It was a very similar dynamic, let me tell you, for this young man named Romanos. Well, Romanos was also a poet, probably one of the last great Greek poets. If there's any Greeks here, I'm probably dead after this. But he was a truly great Greek poet who had studied all the traditions of his day. And he, one evening, the evening before Christmas Day, he had a dream. And in that dream, he was given the blessing from the mother of God, the Theotokos, she's called in the Eastern Church, the Virgin Mary, other people would know her. to sing and given a full complement of things to sing, a full set of verses. So he came into the church and shocked everybody by walking straight up to the front, and then he began to recite this extraordinary poem that he had composed, that he had woken up with on that morning, to everybody's shock. And in doing so, he combined a number of different poetic traditions. But, and this is why I'm telling you the story, is that one of the things that he did was that he introduced a style of singing which continues to this day in the Eastern Church, which is an antiphonal singing. So when we think of singing in church today, especially in traditional liturgical churches, we think of very, pious, very simple ways of ritualized ways of singing. In fact, it was a raucous atmosphere in those days in many of the Orthodox churches, and it was probably more akin to the kind of service that you would experience if, for instance, you went to a church in the Deep South, which is to say the call and the response. So this, except that it was just chaos within this large church, and within most churches in terms of like the singing back and forth and the rah, that kind of thing. And crazy things used to happen in those circumstances. But in this case, he recited this poem, and people responded with this verse, and it just got wild back and forth, and a totally new form of poetics came out of this experience. So what we're going to do today is we're going to sing in the antiphonal style, and we're going to be singing something that is appropriate for Earth Day, which is one of the praise psalms, specifically Psalm 141. This is one of the psalms that we sing quite often in the church, at least in our own community. So without any further ado, I'm going to call you two up. And, we're having a psalm fail right now.
What number psalm is it?
Yeah, we got it. We got it. It's not 141, it's 148. Oh, yeah. That's right. I should also mention, we have changed one of the lines of the Bible.
Oh, that's you're not first.
And it was James's idea.
Yeah, my idea.
We've changed sea monsters to orcas.
Oh, awesome.
Because I
Great
think
change.
we need to remember our
That's right.
orchid population
That's
because
right.
they're in danger right now.
Oh, yeah.